Hey friends, welcome to this video. A bit of a different video. In this video we look at 5 things that I kind of struggled with, maybe not struggled with, I just found difficult, or just things that I really had to think about and try to not really concern myself too much over when I started teaching yoga. I did my yoga teacher training quite a few years ago. I only started actually teaching yoga maybe about almost 2 years ago now. There were things when I started teaching which became more apparent, kind of like as anything. Once you can do all the, in a sense, theory aspect of it, but once you're actually doing the practical component of it and you're actually doing the thick of it, there's a whole lot of other dynamics that arise that maybe you're not used to. Some of these things, I guess it kind of relates also to just general public speaking as well. I found that it correlated quite a bit. I guess it's kind of natural because you are in front of people, you are speaking to people, dealing with people, so that was a big aspect of it. And for me, I was not so comfortable or one of those people who were kind of out there and who enjoyed public speaking or just speaking to a large group of people. So I found that I tend to really have to kind of really reflect and focus on things to kind of help me be able to do it better, to essentially be more calm doing it, as opposed to, becoming nervous, which is natural before giving like things like a speech or just any sort of public speaking event or presentation or anything like that. So let's get into it. I'm sure many people have experienced similar things. It also doesn't really have to be specific to teaching yoga. It could be teaching anything. It could be presenting anything, public speaking, anything of the like. As always, please do comment below, share your stories, share your epiphanies or how you dealt with it. It's always good to read those and learn from different people, different perspectives. So number 1 is the public speaking aspect of it. When I did start, I did find that leading up to the class, I did tend to feel a bit of nervousness, feel a bit of, I guess we can say, anxiety in a sense. I can't really say like why, or I guess it's just the nervousness of being in front of people, having to be responsible for that time, that class. And everyone is looking to you for guidance, or you need to lead them, and you get anxious of what to say, especially when you're still a new yoga teacher. You also don't have the, certain phrases, certain things that you say, you don't have those kind of things down yet, in a sense practice, so that it just flows naturally. You kind of have to build that up with practice and experience. All those things contribute, but honestly, I don't think there's a certain thing that you can do to just get rid of that sort of anxiety. A lot of deep breathing helps, deep breaths, good self-talk, positive self-talk. I think with practice it does get easier, it does get better, so it's just one of those things where you just have to do it and you just have to hang in there. Try to tell yourself that it's okay. If you slip up, if you say something like bring the left leg up instead of the right leg, stuff like that, don't worry too much. Try not to beat yourself up on those kind of things. Just understand that it will take time. It does take some practice and experience, and we all kind of make those mistakes. Try not to worry too much, or just understand that the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter too much. What you can also do, and what I found really helped, is just try to practice a lot. Try to give class, or if you're giving a presentation, try to present to your friends, your colleagues, anyone that you are kind of comfortable with, and just do it a couple of times over and over, and you'll see that by doing that it really calms the nerves. It also just gives you that experience, in a sense, of doing it, going through those motions, and it helps with what to expect in front of a lot more people, and a lot more people that maybe you don't know. Number 2 is dealing with the audience reactions or non-reaction. Kind of leads on from public speaking, I suppose. It's a strange thing that when you are giving a class, when you are, even if you're giving, say, presenting at a conference, for example, stuff like that, a lot of the time the people who are there, they're listening. Not many of them are actually going to react, in a sense. Like maybe you're speaking and you slip in like a joke just to give a bit of humor for a certain aspect or something. something and you notice maybe some people don't even laugh, you can kind of sometimes take that to heart. Or even if you don't take it to heart, I found that in the moment you kind of feel like, are they actually listening? There's kind of a sense of, am I actually getting through to the audience or not? But what you have to understand is, like, people are there, they are listening, but you need to have the energy to kind of carry the class, carry the audience without expecting anything from their reaction, if that makes sense. Regardless whether they laugh or not, still include your humor or whatever the case is. Yeah, just keep the energy flowing and just keep going. Some will laugh, some won't. It's just how it goes. I mean, even for myself, I kind of tried to see how I reacted when I was in a yoga class and the yoga teacher was speaking. And I realized, like, some days, maybe you come from a long day of work, you come into the class, you're just kind of tired, you're just sitting there, you're listening, maybe don't have the energy to actually react just yet. That made me have those kind of realizations that everyone is busy with their own things. It's not kind of a reflection on you when you don't feel a certain reaction from the audience. Yeah, in essence, don't worry too much about the reactions. Just make sure that you keep your energy and you keep it flowing through. Number 3, there's different types of yoga classes. At Virgin Active, one of them that I teach is Yoga Flow. And in the Yoga Flow is you're kind of flowing through poses, so you're constantly moving. You're kind of multitasking, doing a lot of things at once, and more so doing a lot of these things while you're flowing, while you're moving, which makes it that much more interesting, or a little bit difficult. You have to speak, you have to watch what the class is doing while still giving the instructions, while still actually doing the movements at times. There are times where once you've demonstrated once or twice, then you can kind of just watch and cue the instructions through your words. Initially, it can seem overwhelming. Again, I think with practice, it does become easier. What I found, especially in a flow class, is really getting the cues narrowed down, focusing on, like, the tough cues, the more complicated poses or transitions. Try to have a simple cue with just a few words as opposed to trying to explain the whole thing in detail. I found that worked a lot better. As you get experience, it'll naturally evolve, naturally become more natural. It's part of the learning process, I think. There's no way to get away from it. You will be doing a lot. And when you plan your classes, just kind of think of these things. Keep the cues simple. I also found good transitions, simple transitions. That also helps, so that you're not trying to, let's say, go from a standing pose straight into like a downward dog pose. Have some transitions to get you there. I think it helps a lot, and it kind of makes it a lot easier to break it down, so then you can transition into one pose first, then into another, and then finally into your final pose, or whatever the case is. Number 4 is not being able to maybe do all the poses, or not being the most flexible person, those kind of things where people think a lot of the times that if you're a yoga teacher, you're meant to be able to do every single pose, you're meant to be super flexible, you should be able to do the splits, all those kind of things, handstands, splits, whatever the case is. I mean, initially I think it wasn't such a big deal for me. I think that it can be, and I think it's good to understand that, you know, teaching yoga, it's not actually about what you can do in a physical sense. I feel like, or what I've learned by teaching, is that it's got very little to do with what I can do as a teacher physically, in the sense of certain poses or flexibility, whatever the case is. But what it's about is about, one, imparting the yoga knowledge on the students, but more so how you make the students, make the people in the class feel, and how you deliver a class for them and how they feel. It's not something to worry about at all. You will never be able to do every single pose. Maybe you will be, but it's fine to not be able to do certain poses. It's fine to not be the super most flexible person. So the most important thing is just to deliver a good class. Focus on how you making the people in the class feel and helping them grow. That's the role of any teacher, is helping the students grow, helping the students understand certain things, and just focusing on their growth, on their practice the most. And the last one, number 5, is not being sure or kind of, I guess, doubting yourself in the sense that you don't really know if the class was successful or not, or if the people actually liked it or not, or maybe they didn't like it. These kind of thoughts can creep into your mind a lot, especially at the start when you're teaching new people. You're not sure if you're doing it well or not doing it well. Most of the time I think you'll be doing just fine, so try not to worry too much. What I found was really nice is that over some time you kind of get to know the members, get to know the people in your class, and you kind of interact with them, with the regulars, after a few classes, and then you kind of in a sense become friends. Then you're able to actually speak to them, ask them how did you find the class? Did you feel like it was too hard? Was it too easy? Do you have any tips or things you would prefer in the class? You can then actually just chat to them, see what they liked, what they didn't like about the class, and just be open and honest with them. For me, that's worked the best. You do get feedback sometimes just without even asking from some of the people. Take that and use that to improve. But again, if you get criticism or anything like that, try not to take it too much to heart or too personally, because you're teaching a wide variety of people. You can't really please every single person. Some people are used to different things, some people like different things, so naturally you may get differing opinions, and you may have one person that really, out of all of them, decides to complain about something totally unreasonable, let's say. Just take it in your stride, improve it if you can, but otherwise don't worry too much about those 1 out of 10 kind of things that happen. Ultimately, with all of these things, the more you do it, the more you teach people, better at it you get, the easier it becomes, the less nervous you become. But also one thing which is really fundamental in all of this is really prepare and plan your classes out, so that when you get there, there's no kind of guesswork in a sense. You kind of know the flow, the routine, and again, also that becomes easier. And even improvising as well becomes easier over time. Give it some time, allow the experience kind of build naturally with you. You will be great. It's always a good learning process. It's always a great aspect to get better at. I think I avoided it a lot for a long time, just because of the aspect of being, in front of people. I would always rather be on the other side and listening to someone speak, as opposed to me being in front of all the people. But it's an important skill to develop and to get better at, and kind of regardless of what you're doing. I think within any profession, just in general in life, it's a good skill to have, a good thing to get better at. Public speaking, dealing with people can only benefit you in a lot of ways. So I just encourage you to really take it in your stride, and really don't be afraid to put yourself out there and just kind of let your work speak for yourself. So thanks for watching. I hope it was useful. I hope it was relatable, and I hope the tips or the advice to kind of combat those things was helpful. As I said before, if you have any that are useful, please do comment them below. But otherwise, I will see you in the next one.